Hi friends, my channel is called Minivan Muse. I travel in my 2023 Honda Odyssey named Betty White, and we travel around the country to beautiful places, interesting places, and I'm happy that you're here to travel along with us. I'm sure I could spend more time talking about kind of the philosophy and the thought process behind becoming a minimalist in the timeline of going from a part-time to a full-time nomad and being on the road. But for today, I will just give a very brief story. I currently live in a one-bedroom apartment, and I moved in here 4 years ago. You know, I never would say I was a person who was a pack rat or had a lot of stuff. I think my whole life I kind of thought of myself as a neat freak. Now, 4 years ago in 2021, it was still, COVID was still there. This apartment when I moved in was pretty full. And I think a lot of us in those years, 2021, were, if we could, we're in like stockpile stuff, you know, extra food, extra everything, so that we didn't have to go out as much. So there was a lot of stuff in here. But now, I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can, because I can hear it. My voice is echoing in here. I'll show you around and show you what it looks like today, which is 2 years after purchasing my minivan, and I've had the time to give up a lot of things. I understand there are some people who move into a vehicle as a result of something that happens suddenly. That's not my story. I saw a video the other day of a guy talking about minimalism, and he said, if you see something and it's not a hell yeah, then it's a no. And that, a lot of that is how I look at things today. If I'm shopping or something like that, I'll be talking to myself. I'll be like, is this a hell yeah? And if it is, then I buy it. And if it's not, then I don't, because I don't want to accumulate more stuff. I can't tell you how many trips to the thrift store I have done in the last 2 years. Dozens and dozens of them. I also live in a community where the Buy Nothing Facebook group, we have one in our local area. That's a Facebook group where people can put up something they're gifting, and then people can come and pick it up. And I think that's been really great for me to let go of things that, you know, that you can't put in a bag and take to the thrift store. We'll show you a tour of what the place looks like right now. This is currently what my living room looks like. Especially since I got my minivan, I've been really consciously working on minimizing life. So currently just my bike and my rebounder are in here. And I do still have a dresser where I keep folding clothes. Got 2 pairs of tennis shoes. And there is a random office chair here. But what I've focused on doing is getting rid of stuff so that this room is essentially empty. And so I kind of do my living in my bedroom. And I've heard people talk about doing stuff like this, you know, minimizing their house or their apartment so that they're essentially kind of living in one room, and that focuses a person into, you know, simulating what it would be like when you're a full-time nomad in a van. I'm really proud of myself that I've been able to minimize my kitchen. I'm showing here that vast majority of these cabinets are empty. They didn't used to be, but they are now. Lots of trips to the thrift store, getting rid of stuff, letting go of stuff. I think it actually feels pretty good to be able to let go of things, especially if you don't use them. This is the one cabinet above the sink and stove that I still have stuff in. Have some cups and glasses and some coffee and tea. Above the fridge, I still got a few things. Can opener, some snacks, paper towels. But not much. Random straw. Definitely need to get rid of that because I don't need that. Those cables just were in the apartment when I got it, so they'll just stay there when I'm gone. Now we're taking a look at the drawers and cabinets that are on the lower side of the kitchen next to the stove and under the sink. There's my aluminum foil and my trash bags. That's it. And the rest of these cabinets are pretty empty. Under the sink, totally empty. In these 4 drawers, really only one of them has anything in it anymore. There's a little basket of some kitchen utensils and things like that, but that's really it. And to be honest with you, some of that stuff I can let go of. But the rest of these drawers here are empty. And then opposite of the stove and sink is another set of cabinets. And again, the majority of them totally empty. And then this final set here is where I have a very limited number of pots, 2 saucepans, 1 fry pan, a tea kettle. There's my blender. Haven't let go of that yet, but I'm close. And then some glass, kind of like Tupperware style things to take my lunches and things like that. And it looks like back there's a little French press that I haven't used in a while. Maybe time to get rid of that. This is how the dish rack looks most days. There's a cutting board, 1 plate. We also have a pair of scissors, a spork, and a knife. While I'm not all that super duper comfortable about showing my private areas, this is my bathroom. As you can see, there's not much stuff in there. There's a picture of my dog, Marty. He passed away some years ago, but I have several pictures of him. But as you can see, the bathroom is pretty emptied out. Under there, nothing in there. Nothing in there. So, apartment is, I would say, 90% empty. And then my bedroom is similarly minimal. Not comfortable showing that, to be frank with you, but take my word for it.